Hello again everyone, Ageofdune here, and we're back with another League of Legends Shoutcast. You guys repeatedly asked for it, and I'm going to finally deliver. I have a game with Insoy playing Dragonblade Talon. Apparently a lot of people really love Insoy as Talon. From what I understand, it's kind of his main character. It's his best character and everything. Darn it. Why should I start this far in? Let's go all the way back. There we go. That's better. From what I understand, it's one of his best characters anyway, and he does have a few guides, or he has a guide for Talon, and I've seen him in a couple of games, and he really does do really well. So we'll have to see how he ends up doing this game. It'll probably be pretty good. I mean, he really, like I said, he does really well whenever I see him. So it'll be interesting to see again, and hopefully you guys will like it. You've been asking for it for quite some time, so I would imagine. I actually did record a game with him as Talon yesterday. It's an interesting dance, did not even know that. But I'm actually doing that one for a contest for TGN. There's a TGN icon contest. It's some sort of video. So you make a video a week for them, and then everybody gets to vote and see which ones are the best and everything. So we'll see how I end up doing in that. I know a lot of times on the internet people don't really like the longer videos, so we'll see if they end up going for that one or not. But either way, for a little while it's going to be unlisted. I don't know what happens after whatever the TGN icon is. I'll probably go ahead and release it, but we'll see. I really have no idea. So either way, I went ahead and recorded this game as well so that I could have the normal release, and so you guys would still get your Insoy game. And by the way, the reason I haven't had Insoy game on Talon for quite some time is because, for one thing, we never really seem to, our schedules don't mesh. He seems to play mostly when I'm at work and everything, and when I get back, he's usually done. And there was a couple times that I was able to go ahead and cast games of him, but unfortunately he wasn't playing Talon at the time, and people didn't really want to see him as Brand, they wanted to see him as Talon. So recently, I was on Reddit, and I discovered a post from one of the people there talking about a website that he had been making called ProReplays.net. This thing, you know, you can search for pros, and each different pro, you could go and see their recent games and everything, and it records them. And you can either watch via LOL replay, or you can watch using the client itself, because the website actually records the entire stream, and then it will stream the entire thing back to you. So it doesn't have to go through LOL replay if you do not have LOL replay installed. It just uses your client right off the bat, and it streams it just like it's actually happening, which is actually kind of awesome. So I did go ahead and go to that. Unfortunately, the first time I found out about it, the Insoy games were not working because Riot had recently released a patch, which means that the games that were saved on the server weren't really valid anymore, and it did pretty much like, nice gank there, it did pretty much like the LOL replay games almost always do every time there's a Riot patch. So I did talk to him about it, and I pointed out that the Insoy games weren't working at the time because he had requested information if there was any games that weren't working, and he went ahead and not only did he fix it, but he also enabled it so that all Insoy games are actually recorded at the moment. It's treating Insoy like a pro. Even though he's not actually a pro, it is actually treating him like a pro and recording all of his games, which is actually quite awesome. And by the way, that right there is, the way it seems to work is if it's a professional player, it'll record all of their games. Otherwise, the only time you'll see them in a game is if they were in a game with a professional player. So in this case, it's treating him like a professional, and all of his games are being recorded, which is kind of awesome. And he's still been playing a decent amount of Talon, of course. I mean, like I said, that's his main character there, and he seems to be playing it quite a bit. Oop, there's something going on up there. Let's go back a little bit and go see this gank up here. Alright, so we've got Zach and Cho'Gath messing around up here. In comes the Jarvan. Zach's actually pretty low, but I believe he still has his passive up. He jumps out of this. He's not even needing to use his passive quite yet. He's burning a little, but he's going to be fine. And his passive is indeed still up. So even if they did get him down, they would have had to do it out here, because under the tower, they would not have been able to kill him. In comes another gank here by Lee Sin, looking like he's wanting to come in on Talon. Talon knows he's there because he did see him in this bush, and he saw him walk into this bush, and now he sees him leaving. So now he knows he is actually pretty safe. Interesting to see Yi in the mid lane since the changes to Yi. I actually haven't seen that very much. Actually, I don't really see Yi much at all anymore. I mean, he got reworked, and I used to see him a decent amount up top and some in the jungle, but you really don't see him in mid lane much anymore, just because he really doesn't work quite the same as he used to. But in this game, we are actually seeing a Yi, which is kind of awesome. So, alright, let's go ahead and take a look at the players while it is just kind of being calm at the moment. We've got Zac, played by WillKillforTacos, versus Cho'Gath, played by Zorlas. Mid lane, we've got the Master Yi, played by GamePanda, versus Talon, played by Insoy. The ADC for the blue team is Corki, played by GamerXz. And the ADC for the red team is Vayne, played by AtIanta. The support for the blue team is DarkLeons, playing Zyra, versus Sarasun, playing Janna. Nice little gank here. Didn't end up doing much, but could have. Did it force a flash? No flash there, no flash there. No, it actually did not force a flash at all. So, didn't really do much at all then. It was a good attempt, but yeah, it didn't do anything. And finally, we've got the junglers. Lee Sin, played by Teemo Link. Well, that's a name everybody's gonna hate. Versus Jarvan, played by Driver Jeaps. Interesting. So far it's been a fairly calm game. The only kill so far has been by Jarvan and Talon on that Lee Sin earlier that we saw. And not much has really happened since then. These guys are just kind of duking it out here. Zac actually got hit by that pop-up, which is probably not the best thing. But he's got that sustain using his little passive there. He should be pretty well off here. That is one thing about Zac. For one thing, he's not as powerful anymore. But even still, I mean, he's still pretty good up top. He's got that passive, and he's actually ulting here. He's going in on that Cho'Gath pretty hard. He's trying to take this out. I don't think he's going to be able to do... Oh, that ignite. And yeah, he does end up taking it down. I actually didn't think he was going to be able to, but that ignite ended up pushing it over the edge, and he did actually end up taking the Cho'Gath down. I was not expecting that at all. Oh, Talon just went in on the Yi there. There's the Yi Q and the Talon ulti. Talon just had to ulti to get out of that. And the Yi was actually using his Wuju thing. Meditate. Still Wuju, but the whole thing is Wuju. He was using his meditate, so he didn't take nearly as much damage out of that. These guys are actually doing pretty well here. I mean, Vayne and Janna are pushed under the tower, yes, but at the same time, Corki's actually pretty darn low here, which I guess isn't too surprising, as the blue team really doesn't have much, you know, they don't have anything to heal, they don't have any shields or anything, so the effective health is whatever health they have. Vayne just walking up forced him to run away, which isn't really surprising given the fact that he is so low. But in comes the Lee Sin here, and he's wanting to go in on this. There are no wards. Corki went in slightly early, so she actually flashed out, and the Lee Sin missed his Q there, so that's not going to end up working out at all. Looks like Jarvan's going to go ahead and give this Talon the blue buff, and they may end up going to Dragon as well. They did force the bot lane back, so now is an excellent time for them to go ahead and do Dragon, but I guess nobody else followed up, so that didn't end up happening. And Jarvan is yet again saying, hey, come get your blue. Is he forced back? No, he's just going to go back. He wasn't forced back this time, though. We look at the builds here. The Zac already has Spectre's Cowl, which is good against Cho'Gath. It reduces the amount of damage he'll take from Cho'Gath. And the Cho'Gath just has this fairly normal thing. He's got the gold pretend there. Go ahead and get that gold even if he's missing out on CS, which he is slightly behind him. So I guess it actually kind of makes sense. It's one thing you'll sometimes see them doing. If they are getting behind in CS, they'll go ahead and build a gold pretend item, and that makes it so it's not as big of a difference. Ooh, something happened in there. Those guys are both just kind of duking it out in here. And, oh, the Knight comes out, the Talon ulti, and wow, down goes that Master Yi. The meditate there was not enough to save him this time. Talon was able to burst him down, and the Ignite actually made it so the meditate did not heal as much. Had it not been for the Ignite, he might have been able to survive just because of the heal. But the Ignite happened. Oh, man, she came out too far here. In goes the Jarvan. And she's already getting pretty low. In goes the Vayne. Vayne gets popped up there by that ulti, though. And she's trying to escape. No, out comes the Jarvan ulti. He's now going in on the Corki, pops him up. No, the flash comes out, and the Corki is going to live this. But it ended up being a 1-for-0, so good gank by the Jarvan there. Very nice indeed. And if we take a look at the team comps here, to me, it doesn't really seem like there is a cohesion between either team. I mean, neither team is searching for anything in particular. Like in the Worlds games, in ranked, no, well, not ranked games, but team games. Anytime you're playing as a team, a lot of times you will build a team comp that is designed to do something in particular. Like, it'll be either a pick comp, which is designed to go ahead and just pick people off. Ooh, in goes the Janna, down goes the Corki. Nicely played there by that Janna, keeping him slowed and then popping him up so that Vayne could get back into position to take him out. Lee Sin's coming in for a gank, though. But yeah, as I was saying, you see a pick comp, which is designed to go ahead and pick people off. Usually has a lot of burst damage, and you'll see a lot of wards around the map, and just people keeping track of everything. Or you'll see a late game team fight comp, which is a lot of times with AoE team fight, and oh, not bad. Chunked her down to half health. Oh, something happening here as well. Talon, I think, actually saw the Lee Sin there, so he's gonna get out of this. And you know, there's other ones like the long range poke comp, which admittedly a lot of times you do see a Janna in. Is he gonna go down to this? He is gonna go down to this. You see a Janna in the poke comp. Oh, in comes a gank here as well. In goes the Yi, going in on the Janna. Janna flashes out, and the Vayne's actually able to push him back as well as that Janna ult. And that means that that gank there wasted a teleport, and he didn't get anything from it. He did get a flash, so I guess that's something, but not really what he was hoping for. Oh, a little bit of lag there. Not sure why. Stop lagging. Oof. Okay. Anyway, a lot of times you do see Janna in a poke comp, because one of the things that really shuts down a poke comp is to go ahead and just... Oh, hold on. Alright, sorry about that. I had my system pointing towards my main hard drive due to the fact that I was running out of space yesterday on my regular recording hard drive, and I was actually running out of space, so I had to go ahead and change that back. I'd actually forgotten to do so. I don't think Lee Sin's going to be able to take this down now. The Talon does end up forcing him back. A gank down here. Looks like Jarvan came in for a gank from Tribo. She's actually picked up by the ward, which kind of makes me surprised this worked. The Corki's way out there. He jumps back in, but it's way too late by that time. Jarvan comes in, goes ahead and ults him there. In comes the pop-up from Janna, and down goes the Corki. He was a little overextended there. I guess it really doesn't matter, because even if he had been... Actually, no. If he had been at his tower, he could have flown away as soon as Jarvan came in and just walked away from the tower, so the tower dive would not have worked. So instead, he was way out here when Jarvan was there, and it ended up costing him his life. Not sure why he did that exactly. I guess he didn't notice, which honestly, I don't really blame him too much. It's a lot to keep track of, especially with CSing. I know anytime I am the ADC, I tend to focus very hard on CSing, and I tend to miss out on the map awareness. And it's something I need to work on, and obviously it's something he needs to work on as well. Zach is going pretty hard on this. Got the flash there from the Cho'Gath, so the Cho'Gath's going to be forced to go back. He really can't stick around with that flash down, and his health that low. But yeah, as I was saying before my computer started to freak out there, Janna's usually seen in a poke comp, but really, if we're looking here, I'm not really seeing much of a poke comp here from the red team. So, ooh. Zach's going to be fine here. Question is Cho'Gath going to be fine? Zach does have his ulti, but Cho'Gath is currently under his tower. In comes the Jarvan, though. He is picked up by that ward, so Zach is on his way out. Jarvan's trying to come in. May end up popping him up a little bit, but I don't think that Zach really has much to worry about. I think he still has his passive. He does indeed have that passive, so he's going to be fine. Talon was coming up as well to go for a gank, and didn't end up happening, so he's going to go ahead and go back to his lane. And actually shove Yi off of it as soon as he comes in. Yi backed off immediately. I don't really blame him. Talon's pretty scary. Ding, ding. Looks like Talon may be on his way down. It does indeed appear to be the case. He is picked up by that ward, but at the moment, Janna and Vayne were already going in. They managed to take down the Zyra before they even got here. Lee Sin came in to gank, counter gank, but unfortunately for him, I don't even know if it's going to work. The Talon ulti actually did shred him, but it's not going to take him down. Yi's going in over there. We'll take a look at that in a moment. I do want to see if Insoy is able to escape this. He does go ahead and take down the Lee and flashes out. The flash comes out from Corki. We're still going to go down there in a moment. It does actually look like Talon's going to escape this. Very nicely played by him, managing to take that Lee Sin down before he died, and he didn't end up dying at all because of it. So there we go. We do see the Yi coming in now as well. And there's that very nice play there from that Talon. Okay, so he stopped for a second, but he's going in on the Janna now. Walks under the tower, and he does actually manage to take her down, but the Vayne actually punts him back under the tower and then flashes away after the Q. Very nice on her part. Had she flashed beforehand, he would have Q'd to her, and then she would have ended up dying. But instead, she waited for him to Q, and then she went ahead and flashed out, and she ended up surviving that. So in they went on the Zac. Zac is going to be popped into Bloblets, but he is out of tower range. He almost made it, but he didn't. Actually, let's go watch the whole gank. He was overextended here again, and he's ignited there, so his Bloblets aren't really doing too much for him. Got knocked up there by the Jarvan, and there we go. So nothing too big there. It looks like he actually went ahead and engaged on it, and Jarvan happened to be there. So down goes the Zac right now. He actually caused them to force Jarvan to use his ult because of the fact that he actually came back up. They didn't have the burst damage to take him down while he was Bloblets, so they had to take him down after he respawned, and he was on the process of running away. So Jarvan ended up having to use his ult there, which means that is going to be down for a little while anyway. I mean, it's not a huge cooldown. 84 seconds, so a little bit over a minute. I think he'll be fine here. I doubt that there will be another team fight before it's back up, but you never know. Either way, it sucks for them that they had to go ahead and use that when they really had him dead to rights. They just couldn't take him down. So Vayne's doing a little bit of damage there. She did some damage to the tower, and it looks like she's going to go ahead and go back. They don't want to take the tower quite yet, apparently. And Talon's able to go ahead and just grab this blue himself now. He really doesn't need the help anymore. Zac's on his way back up, and Lee Sin's back to farming his jungle. So, if we take a look at the blue team's team comp... Oh, down goes the Zyra there. And I have a feeling Corki's going to go down as well. The pop-up comes in from Janna, the punt back from the Vayne, and down goes the Corki, and that is a double kill for Vayne. Now Jarvan's going in on the Dragon, but the red team says, I don't care. They're going to go ahead and take down this tower and then head on up to that Dragon. Or at least Janna's going to head on up to the Dragon. Lee Sin's sitting around here. He does have a ward, so he knows when it's going to be close enough for him to smite. So I don't know if he'll be able to smite steal this, but it's going to be pretty close. He does have smite up. There we go. He does land his Q there. Goes in, and he does manage to steal it. Nice steal there from Lee Sin. Jarvan was not able to smite it. He's used his smite slightly too soon. Actually, when did he use his smite? See, it's at 1309. Yeah, he used it right there. He used it slightly too soon, and the Lee Sin was successfully able to steal it, which kind of stinks there for the Jarvan. Jarvan's kind of sad now, I'm sure. But it was a good steal from Lee Sin. And down went the tower up top. In the meantime, the Zac was actually able to steal that. So that is a double goodness? Yeah, double plus good. We'll go with Newspeak here. That was double plus good for the blue team, and they actually got a lot of global gold in those couple seconds. But Zac is being forced back because he's actually pretty low here, and the Cho'Gath is not so low. So before it was such that the Zac actually had to, you know, he was just ripping him apart. But after a couple of ganks, the Zac has actually started falling behind, and yet another gank comes in. Talon manages to take down the Zac. And Zac is not really having a good time. In goes the Yi. He's going in on Insoy now. And Insoy does not have his ulti, so I think he may end up going down here. Yi's now going in on the Cho'Gath. And there's his Q. He's going to try to get out of this. The Q from... I think Q. Yep. Q from Cho'Gath comes out, but the Yi had already turned around. In goes the Lee Sin to save Yi as well. And now Cho'Gath knows that it's not going to happen. He actually almost had it, but that shield there from the Lee Sin managed to save him. And in the meantime, actually, what happened to Zyra? Okay, so Zyra was coming up. Looks like she was counter-warding, and Vayne was actually getting rid of the wards. Vayne was in that bush, and as soon as the Zyra got out of position there, the Janna came up to slow her, and Vayne punched her against the wall. So down went the Zyra. The Corki's going back at the moment. No, he changed his mind, and now he's not going back, and now he is again. Had he not stopped his back, that right there wouldn't happen. He got interrupted there by that Janna. He is slowed by Janna, and Vayne is on her way in. She just ultied. She's going in, and she's taking his health down fast. Down he goes. So had he not interrupted his back, he actually would have escaped. But he decided to interrupt it and then start it again, and that actually resulted in his death, which is not great for him. Wow. On the plus side, you know, for his team, Talon. Nope. Wrong team. Hold on. The Yi did end up escaping, so that is a plus side for his team. Jarvan actually did a lot of damage to the tower there. I got massively mixed up on the people there, and I'm not sure why exactly. So now the red team's actually invading the jungle here, and they're actually doing quite a bit of damage, and just completely getting rid of all the jungle farm here, which really sucks for the blue team. When you don't get any farm, it's very sad indeed. And Yi's now forced back because he saw that Janna come up. Usually you don't see a Janna alone. So if you see the Janna, you know you're probably in a little bit of trouble. The Vayne's going in, almost ends up taking down the Zyra, but the Lee Sin came in to stop her, but she punts him against the wall, and down he goes. Wow, he shielded, but it was not quite enough to go ahead and finish it off. Corki comes in, he's trying to shred her. She actually did get a lot of damage done to her. Out comes the Zyra ulti, and the Vayne barrier comes out. In goes the Yi, does manage to take her down. He's now going in on the Janna. The Talon came in though. The Yi does manage to take down the Janna, but the Talon and Jarvan combo was enough to finish him off. So he got 2 kills out of the deal. So he's probably pretty happy, but for the team based, it ended up being a 3 for 2 in the red team's favor. And they're going to probably do at least some damage to the tower. They may end up taking it down. I have a feeling they will end up taking it down. So all in all, that one definitely came out behind for the blue team. And yeah, down goes the tower, as I thought. Not really surprising. Talon does actually have quite a bit of damage by this point. And they managed to get the mid tower as well. So things are really not looking too good for the blue team. It started out really well. From what I remember, I was thinking, hey, you know, they're actually doing pretty darn good here. And no, it's not so much anymore. It has definitely turned into the red team's favor. They've just been able to really work together a lot better. The Jarvan comes in at just the right time. The blue team really hasn't seemed to have much cohesion. And yeah, like I was saying earlier about their comps that I got interrupted by a team fight, I believe. If we look at the blue team's comp, I guess they are somewhat of a team fight comp. I mean, honestly, they've got Zac, who's really good at team fight. He's got that AoE CC ult. We've got Zyra, who has a very strong CC ult. And we've got Corki and Yi, who do a lot of damage very quickly. But we've got Lee Sin, who really isn't designed for a team fight. I mean, he can do okay, but honestly, he's really not that good in a team fight. Nice little team fight here, though. Down went the Janna and the Jarvan already. And things are not going well for the red team this time. Yi's trying to go in. He does manage to actually just die. And now the Vayne's trying her best to get out of this. She does end up going down. And that one ended up being a 4 for 1 in the favor of the blue team. So the last team fight, it went great for the red team. This one, not so much. And we do see somewhat of that team fight comp that I was talking about there. It's not really super strong thanks to the Lee. I think that had they had a different jungle, they'd have a little bit of a better team comp. He's a lot better early game, and he's really good at the ganks and everything, but in a team fight, he's not really quite as strong. He's still good, but not really as strong. They do manage to get 2 towers out of that, though, so that's actually pretty good. They thought about stealing blue, but they decided against it. Cho'Gath is up here taking this tower. Don't know if he's going to end up getting it, but he's definitely doing some damage to it. Yi, Zac, and Lee are all on their way up. And he hasn't started running yet. In comes the Yi now. And the Cho'Gath is going to go ahead and get out of this. He walks away with no problem whatsoever. Janna's being kind of mean to the poor Zyra here, but in comes Corki, and now Janna's in a little bit of trouble. In comes the Cho'Gath, though, and manages to pop up the Corki, meaning that the Janna is going to get out of this. The dodge comes out from the Cho'Gath, meaning that the Lee Sin misses his Q, and in they go. This is going to be another team fight here. Down goes the Yi early, so there goes that damage that they have. The massive CC from Zyra comes out, and they're slowly melting. So far, it looks like the blue team is ahead. If we look at the effective health of the team members, the red team is definitely behind in team members that are here, but Talon's coming in now, and he goes in. He does manage to do at least some damage there, and effective health now appears to be more for the red team. And they're going in on the Baron, and that definitely means they came out of that one ahead. It was a 4 versus 5, and they still managed to take down one of the blue team members, and they lost no members of their own. So the Zac is on his way over, but he's going to get here just in time to see it die. Now he's going to try to escape. This got popped up while he was charging his jump there, so he is definitely going down. And that always sucks when you're sitting there charging up your jump, and then somebody's like, nope, no you're not. And he goes down for it. Corki shot off a rocket, but he ended up escaping this with no problem. But he was not able to really help that Zac at all. And now we do see the red team kind of converging over here to get their last outer turret. And I would not be surprised to see them get this. It is currently 4 versus 5, even, well, not really. This is a 3 versus 2. And yeah, they do end up getting this tower. Vayne is here, and she is a massive damage dealer. Ha 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 ha. Not sure why Lee Sin's laughing, but he is. And there we go. The red team's now going to go ahead and fall back. Yi was down bot pushing, and this is actually pushing towards the red team. So the red team's going to have to react to that, or they may end up taking some tower damage. I don't think there will be enough minions to take down their tower anytime soon, even if it does end up making it. But I don't even think it's going to make it. We do see Jarvan and the Janna on their way down, and I have a feeling one of them's probably going to shove it right back again. Down goes the dragon for the red team, and the blue team kind of figured as much, so they are all sticking pretty well together. There are wards here picking up the red team, so they know exactly where these three were. And Talon's going to go ahead and go back and get him some items. They're going in on the Cho'Gath now. Very few members of the red team are here. Cho'Gath is going to go down to this. Down goes the Cho'Gath. In comes three other members. And it looks like the red team's going to come out of this intact. Vayne's on her way over. And in comes the ulti there from the Jarvan. Down goes the Zyra. And is anybody else going to die? They're going in. There's the slow from Janna on Zac. He gets punted up. He goes down. And now it is definitely looking like the red team's coming out of this ahead. The original engagement was great for the blue team, but unfortunately the red team was all combining there. And they managed to join up and take down that blue team pretty darn well. And they only got 2 members, but they took the Zyra, who has the massive CC, and the Zac, who's pretty much the tank of the blue team. So it is currently a 4 versus 3 down here. They do have towers at least, but honestly, they don't have the damage and the tanking to go ahead and do this. So down goes that tower. Talon went in and just melted the Corki. He died for it, but he still ended up taking him down before dying. So that was a 1-for-1. Vayne's going in, doing a lot of damage to Lee Sin. Lee Sin dies. In goes the Zac. And he's actually taking quite a bit of damage. He's being forced to run away. And there is the surrender. I like the little flying debris. Anyway, let's go ahead and take a look at the people and their units. We've got Zac with 160 CS versus 182 CS for Cho'Gath. 133 versus 541. The Cho'Gath has Rod of Ages, Sunfire Cape, Glacial Shroud, Mercury's Treads, Philosopher's Stone, and a Cloth Armor versus Spirit Visage, Sunfire Cape, Mercury's Treads, Doran's Shield, and an Amplifying Tome. The Talon's at 223 CS versus 184 for Master Yi. It's a pretty big difference there, and he's 4-3-11 versus 6-6-4. He's got Infinity Edge, Last Whisper, Tiamat, Boots of Mobility, and a Health Potion versus Blade of the Ruined King, Static Shiv, Berserker's Greaves of the Home Guard Enchant, Doran's Blade, Ruby Crystal, and a Doran Shield. The Vayne's at 184 CS versus 180. Interestingly, we don't see Blade of the Ruined King on her. We see Bloodthirster instead. She is 16-2-2. That actually does snowball her better, but the Blade of the Ruined King really helps her in 1 versus 1 trades, but I guess in this case she was snowballed so well she didn't need it. She is 16-2-2 versus 0-6-7. She's got Bloodthirster, Phantom Dancer, Berserker's Greaves, no enchant, Pickaxe, Cloak of Agility, and a Doran's Blade versus Trinity Force, of course, Sorcerer's Shoes, Pickaxe, Doran's Blade, and a Longsword. He really doesn't have much at all. The Janna's at 6 CS versus 26. Supports, doesn't matter. 0-3-20, however, versus 1-5-5, which is a huge difference right there. She's got Morellonomicon, Sightstone, Blasting Wand, and a Philosopher's Stone versus Sightstone, Cage's Lucky Pick, Philosopher's Stone, Emblem of Valor, Boots of Speed, and a Sight Ward. Finally, we've got the junglers. Jarvan has 107 CS versus 85 for Lee Sin, 5-1-11 versus 0-5-5. Not really something you expect to see on a Lee, as like I said, he is more of a ganking early game type of jungler, and if you don't see more than that, he was probably shut down pretty hard. The Jarvan has Lock of the Iron Solari, Spirit of the Ancient Golem, Spectre's Cowl, Ninja Tabby, and a Ruby Crystal versus Thornmail. Very good versus Vayne, of course, but the Bloodthirster kind of counteracts that. Thornmail, Sightstone, Doran's Blade, Ruby Crystal, and Boots of Speed. So that's going to be the end of this game. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I hope you're glad to see the Insoy Talon. Sorry it took so long, but I'm glad I finally have a way to go ahead and get to these games. If you do have any more requests, go ahead and give them to me. Now that I have this pro replays, I'll see what I could do. So anyway, hope you guys enjoyed it, and I'll see you guys next time. Have a good night. Bye.